How did you start this business?
We had a company called Global Network, which was doing consultancy for SMEs to connect them to international market. But we realized that instead of doing this consultancy for single companies, if we can work in the entire cluster, then it will be better. But we were told that the international donors and also Government of India will not fund a private company. So we started an economic development NGO, and we were not sure in the beginning that how it will work, but after doing some projects, we found it to be a very, very powerful tool to create competitiveness of not only a few, but a large number of SMEs in large number of clusters, not only in India, but in many other countries.
What is your core business?
We have two businesses. One is Global Network, which is our international trade consulting firm, which still continues working with overseas clients, like we represent the government of Manitoba, which is a province in Canada, as their trade representative in India, and we operate through 8 offices. And plus in that we also take delegations to various countries. We host delegations, and we counsel corporates on international market strategies and market entry to various countries. And the other business is Cluster Pulse. So if you have to say core business, then I would say both of them are equally important, because we learn a lot from Global Network, and we then invest all that learning in Cluster Pulse, which is a not-for-profit company.
What are the unique strengths of your company?
If I have to say, our unique USP is basically we are very grassroots oriented. We are connected to the ground. We never, in any of our seminars or presentations or one-to-one meetings, we never talk any management jargon. We use very simple words, because primarily we work with SMEs, and SMEs need to understand international competitiveness issues in very simple words. And so we use that, and we connect it to the grassroots. That's our main USP. So we understand what's happening in the field, and we also at the same time understand what's happening globally. So we know, due to our experience in Global Network, we know what's happening in China, what's happening in US, what's happening in Europe, how the companies are becoming competitive, how they are as a country improving their policies to compete with other emerging countries like India and China. So we are from grassroots to the global strategy. We connect both of them with each other.
What infrastructure and networking setup you have?
We have this office, which is our Ahmedabad corporate office. We have an institute also in Ahmedabad, which is at a different location, which is called Global Network Institute, where we do training for small and medium enterprise owners. We have done almost 93 batches now, last 10 years, and more than 3,000 business people have done that, and out of that 600 of them have become exporters. So we have a training center there, and then we have franchise offices of the institute in Hyderabad, Jaipur, Bangalore. We also have one franchise in Oman, and for our projects of Cluster Pulse, we have project offices. So right now we have project offices in Alleppey, Kerala. We have one project office in Hyderabad, another one in Delhi, another in Bombay. So, which is manned by our staff, and that's how we are connected to the entire country.
Which major current programs you are conducting now?
Right now we are implementing several projects. One project is funded, a multi-donor funded project of World Bank, British agency DFID, German agency GTZ, and our agency to whom we report is SIDBI, and we are implementing a choir competitiveness project in Alleppey in Kerala. It's a 4.5 years project. We have finished 3.5 years. And we are using a very interesting tool. In competitiveness, there are many tools which can create competitiveness of SMEs. One is export, another is IT. But we are using a new tool. First time it is being implemented anywhere in the world in its entire complexity, which is called BDS, Business Development Service Providers. So we are training consultants to in turn deliver services to SMEs in the cluster. So we are mapping that how the services of the consultant has helped the cluster companies to grow. The second project we are right now implementing is funded by European Union and Government of Italy. and it is a very interesting project where our focus is on renewable energy and eco-friendly building materials. So the project is, there are several companies in Italy who are involved in renewable energy sector and also in eco-friendly building material. We are bringing them to India in February, and we are arranging a seminar as well as one-to-one meetings all over the country. We are identifying Indian companies who can manufacture those machines and technologies in India in joint venture with them and then sell in India. As well as we are arranging the meetings with end users. For example, green building. Then we are arranging the meetings with the construction companies in India to explain them so that whenever it is done by an Indian company, it will be adopted faster. And after 1 month of this visit, we will be taking a lot of companies from India to Italy and show them the application of these green and clean technologies in Italy, so that they believe what we have told them. And all these visits and everything will be funded by the project. So that is a second interesting project we are right now implementing.
What are the challenges?
You see, the biggest challenge is when we work in a cluster, we generally believe that if there are 350 companies in a cluster, then we should work with all. But our very practical experience is that not all SMEs are interested in events and becoming competitive. So the biggest challenge is to make all the SMEs understand the value of such kind of a strategic help which comes to them, and for them to make use of it. So if the response from the SMEs is higher, that primarily right now is one of the biggest challenge. Otherwise, in terms of execution, in terms of implementation of principles and processes, we have mastered it. So it's not really a big challenge.
How do you look at opportunities?
See, we are a large country. We have about almost 600 industrial clusters and 2,000 artisan clusters. So till now, hardly I think in 150 clusters work has been done in last 10 years. And so many industrial clusters, plus the most important opportunity I see is when everybody is talking of inclusive growth, then we need to really do a lot of work with artisan clusters. It is the artisan clusters which need a lot of help, and there the help which is required is more on the soft side, because they have the art. The art. So we had a very similar experience in Afghanistan. So we were implementing a project for 4 years in the artisan cluster in Afghanistan, and it was funded by American government, USA, to us. And we found the experience to be very, very interesting, and similar thing can be done in India. So that is the biggest opportunity, how we can use this cluster development approach for inclusive growth in the artisan clusters.
What are your future plans?
Right now, actually we are in the process of now developing an Indian cluster observatory. In India there is no single source where you can get information about all the clusters in India, industrial as well as artisan. So we are setting up about 10 kilometers from our corporate office in Ahmedabad. We are setting up an Indian cluster observatory where if anybody goes, they can sit and they can put on the audio system and they can connect and they can touch. It's a touch screen system. They can touch any cluster in the map in India, and they would get PowerPoint presentations, diagnostic studies, what work has happened in clustering in last 10 years. They can, there will be videos uploaded of interviews of all the stakeholders from that particular cluster. There will be Skype internet connectivity. They can just Skype to any stakeholder in that cluster and talk to them from this observatory. So that is our future most ambitious plan.
Any other important point you may like to talk?
One of the things which we have observed is there is a lack of implementing, seriously interested implementing agencies in the country. So actually the government perhaps or some agency should take a lead to develop more implementing agencies who are passionate about the work, not just to look it as a business, but to be very passionate and adopt very practical principles. So most of agencies who are working in the country are, I personally feel, are theoretical in nature. So there is a necessity to have more practical but passionate agencies. I don't know how that can be developed.
Thank you.